A quick 2-game home-and-home series for Jaren Jackson and the Memphis Grizzlies. And since there's no Luka, no Kyrie, Jaden Hardy getting some extra clock. Could his Dallas Mavericks get a little bit of revenge on Memphis here with playoff seed and so important right now? Hardy kicked Dallas off to a phenomenal start. How about 16 first quarter points for young Jaden? He had 28 in the game. Memphis got some young bulls that are ready to go too. David Roddy stepping up and throwing it down. Another young bull seemingly ready for the moment. How about Josh Green for 3? And since we're highlighting young players, Memphis showcases Tyrus Jones and Desmond Bane. No stars, no problem. League's in good hands. Bane attacking the rim in the third, putting the Grizzlies up by 7. And then how about Dylan Brooks, known for his offensive struggles over the last couple years? Got Luka and Kyrie looking on in complete filth right there as he knocks in the 3. David Roddy, another 3. David Roddy, another 3. You get the trend here. Roddy putting on a show in Texas. Brooks likes what he sees. And from here on out, it is none other than Desmond Bane putting Dallas away. It's a 21-point game. Bane had 23. Memphis on the verge of getting a huge win. There's no timetable when Ja Morant will be back with the Grizzlies. For now, though, their backup point guard, Tyrus Jones, says he's on the job. Memphis improves to 41-26 on the season. The Dallas Mavericks are slumping at the wrong time. They're now under 500 at 34-35 following this second straight loss to the Grizzlies. The Dallas Mavericks are an awful defensive team. And honest to God, truth, they're becoming just an awful team altogether. They can lose any game out there. They can beat anybody in the NBA, but they can lose to anybody in the NBA. 3-7 in their last 10 games. Kyrie Irving is apparently out with injury. He's always hurt. Luka Doncic, a guy who's rarely hurt, is now hurt. Luka was doing just fine before they traded for Kyrie. When he was taking 40 shots a game by himself, he was never hurt. Now all of a sudden, Kyrie come around. Now he was destined to probably get hurt around this point in the year. Luka came out the gate really hot. I'm not surprised he got hurt. I'm just joking about he was fine before Kyrie got there. Kyrie, though, this has become a consistent thing with his career. He just can't stay healthy. He's got so much stuff going on off the court that we can't even talk about him on the court oftentimes. We don't even get there. And the on the court guy is phenomenal, but there are two things. He stays hurt, and he doesn't help winning as much as you would think a guy with his talent should. The Dallas Mavericks are one of the teams that I'm assuming to not make the play-in tournament at this point in time. They're going backwards at the wrong time. They can't defend anybody. And I'm looking at Kyrie, and I'm starting to notice a trend with Irving. When things start to go left, I feel like Kyrie Irving's coping mechanism is starting drama up in other ways. I believe Kyrie Irving went on Twitch Live, his Twitch, a few days ago to try to start some mess within the organization of Dallas. I believe that. I believe when Kyrie Irving sees things not going right on the basketball court, he tries to muck the water up and change it from basketball to off the court Kyrie. I really do believe that. I do. I'm telling you, every time things start to go left on the court, Kyrie Irving tries to change the narrative to something off the court. He tries to make it about America. He tries to make it about oppression every single time. And he started to go down that lane. And if you are a friend of Kyrie's or family of Kyrie's, please check on that brother, because I was watching him on that Twitch Live and something seemed a little off. That's all I'm going to say. Prayers to Kyrie, the person. In regards to him and the Dallas Mavericks on the court, this is not a good team. And look, I'm not mad at Mark Cuban, the owner of the Mavericks, for making the Kyrie Irving trade. I get it. You feel like you capped out last postseason against the Golden State Warriors. There are two things I would like to say to that. I'm not so sure the Mavs capped out with the Western Conference playoffs last year, because I'm not sure if anybody else would have been able to beat them the way they were playing last year. Golden State is a very unique situation. They play real team ball when they're clicking on all cylinders, to the point that even LeBron couldn't figure out the Warriors a couple years. Even, LeBron, in theory, was so great in 2015, you would have thought he would have been able to figure out the Golden State Warriors by himself. No Kevin Love, no Kyrie. That's how great LeBron was at that point. He couldn't figure them out by himself. Like, the Warriors, if they can single in on one superstar like they did Luka last year, they're really tough to defend. It's going to take two guys to beat Golden State. So if I'm Dallas, I maybe would have ran it back with Dinwiddie and Dorian Finney-Smith and the squad they had last year, acquiring Christian Wood and having a healthy Maxi Kleber and a healthy Tim Hardaway Jr., because I'm not so sure if they really maxed out last year. I would have maybe banked on somebody else eliminating the Golden State Warriors, a team that matched up better with them, and then maybe took my chances against anybody else in the West. I'm just saying. I'm not mad at them for going after Kyrie, but the second thing is, I will be critical of Mark Cuban in this regard. If you're going to make a move like going and acquiring Kyrie Irving and getting rid of a guy like Spencer Dinwiddie, who's an absolute bucket getter, probably about 75% of the player that Kyrie Irving is, and then trading a guy like Dorian Finney-Smith, who doesn't take a lot of possessions off, you should have definitely went out and got another defender or two at the trade deadline. That's my only criticism. If you're going to bring in Kyrie, you have to have some defensive reinforcements at the deadline coming alongside Kyrie. Markieff Morris ain't it, bro. That's not enough. That's my criticism. This team is atrocious defensively, and they are now one of the 2 or 3 teams I'm looking at in the Western Conference, and I'm thinking to myself, they might not make the play-in tournament. They're playing so bad right now. They are awful. Kyrie is out. I think he's genuinely out because Luka's out, but that's a whole nother story for another day. This team is falling apart at the wrong time of the year physically, and it feels like emotionally the team is just falling apart.